This afternoon, we're going to learn how to solve trig equations that deal with scalars, meaning multipliers, and angle addition and subtraction. So what I'm going to do just to get us ready for this afternoon is review what we had done in the day one note, since you haven't had homework on that yet, and then just step you through a little bit of what's going to happen this afternoon. So please make sure that you're writing these problems down on a piece of paper, or if you've pre-printed the notes, right on the note sheet. So at the top, I have my triangles and my unit circle just to help me to solve these when I'm ready. And I remind you of what our answer should look like when we do this. If our equation is with theta, our answer will be between 0 and 360, including 0, but not the coterminal angle of 360. And similarly with x, it would be in radians, between 0 and 2 pi. So for A, step 1 is to isolate the trig function, which we have done. Step 2 is to think about what quadrants your answer can be in. So secant is the reciprocal of cosine. My answer comes out negative, and so cosine is negative in quadrants 2 and quadrants 3. And then I need to figure out what angle in quadrant 1 gives me that negative 2 root 3 over 3. And then I can push those angles in degrees because of theta to that quadrant 2 and 3 answer. So the first thing I notice is that secant is r over x, and I don't have any triangle up there that gives me 2 root 3 for r. So what that means is this is a rationalized value, and we need to think backwards. Some of you can do this in your head, and if not, what I had said to you was to take that fraction and to multiply top and bottom by the radical, and that should get us to where we need to be. So the top will become negative 2 times 3, or negative 6. The bottom would become 3 root 3, and then you can see I can reduce to get negative 2 over root 3. So I'm looking to solve secant of theta equals negative 2 over root 3, so r is 2 and x is root 3. Or as I did in class, you can take the reciprocal of each side and say cosine of theta equals negative root 3 over 2. Again, that would be x over r. So looking up at my triangles, x is root 3 with my 30-degree angle. So I want my 30-degree angle, but in quadrants 2 and quadrants 3. So 30 degrees up from the x-axis in quadrant 2 would put me at 150, and 30 degrees down into quadrant 3 would put me at 210. So those are our answers for letter A. Letter B, we're going to look at our potential for factoring, our method of factoring. And remember, I said you cannot divide by a trig function. So the first thing we need to do is subtract the cosine and get it all on one side. And then from there, we will factor it out. Okay, you can see the common factor of cosine I'm going to take out, which would leave me with 3 tan squared x minus 1. And then we set each factor equal to 0 to solve. And you can see as I'm writing this down, this is an x, so that means we are in radians this time. So the first one is already isolated. I'm saying what angles for cosine give me 0. So I'm looking at my unit circle when x is 0. X is 0 at 90 and at 270, but I want radians. So that would be pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So that's part of my answers. And then the second one I have to isolate still. So I'm going to add the 1, divide by 3, and then this brought up another method we looked at on day 1 where we have the square. And so we need to square root both sides. And remember that introduces a plus minus. So we get plus minus 1 over root 3. And the plus minus means I want tangent where it's positive, so that's quadrants 1 and 3. And I also want tangent where it's negative, so that's quadrant 2 and 4. So I'm going to want all 4 quadrants in my answer. Looking up at my triangle, I want to know when y is 1 and x is root 3. That once again is going to be my 30-degree angle. And so 30 degrees up or down from the x-axis into each quadrant. 30 degrees is my pi over 6. So pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, and 11 pi over 6. So this example, number 2, actually has 4 answers. And then last but not least, we're back to just a algebraic equation where I'm going to isolate by subtracting the sign. So 2 sine theta is equal to root 3, and then I'm going to divide by 2. So this one's actually much easier than the prior example. So I'm saying what angle, first sign, gives me root 3 over 2. First, think what quadrants you're positive in. I'm positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. And then y over r, my root 3 for y is my 60-degree angle. So 60 degrees in quadrant 1, and then up from my x-axis in quadrant 2, 60 degrees would give me my 120. So those all came from the day 1 notes, so you can be sure to go back and review those. And then I'm just going to give you an introduction to where we're headed today. So today we're going to look at problems where we introduce a scalar or some addition and subtraction, specifically with the scalar or the addition or subtraction inside the trig function. So in number 1, what I mean by that is you can see sine of 2x and sine of 1/2 theta in number 2. So there's a multiplier in there. If I scroll down a little bit, actually it's on the next page, so I won't go that far. You'll see an addition and subtraction there. So what I just want to point out is what it says for the directions, and then we'll pick up this afternoon. When an angle is not just x or theta, a substitution step can help us to finish solving. So we're going to use what's called a let statement, which you might be familiar with from Algebra 2 with factoring. And then it says we may need to, or will need to actually, consider values outside of the interval when substituting. Because what happens is when we're solving for our answers and then we either multiply or divide or add or subtract, it might push our answers past where we need to go. And so we are going to make sure that we are looking at additional revolutions. So I wanted to remind you that if we are looking for additional revolutions, so things past the 360 or past the 2 pi, we need to make sure that we are remembering that we can add 360 to get a coterminal angle or add 2 pi if we're in radians to get a coterminal angle. So what you're going to see this afternoon is that when I solve for sine 2x equals 1, I'm initially going to write what I think the answers can be, but I'm going to add more rotations to that before I actually solve the equation. So that's it for today. This afternoon we'll pick up and do those examples, so make sure you have these problems written down. So go back if you need to go finish any of the problems, and then we will pick up later. Have a good rest of your morning.